how do you keep drawing and making art so consistently? One of the most asked questions I get about my art is, how do you stay so consistent? A couple of years ago, I was able to be consistent with making art for 6 months straight every single day. And I documented everything on my social media platforms, especially on Instagram, I believe. I'm someone who fills 2 to 3 sketchbooks every single year, working full time as an illustrator and a comic artist. So yeah, I'm pretty consistent. I've talked about this in other videos before. There's one about inspiration and there's one about how to fill your sketchbook by embracing imperfection, which is something I'm really passionate about. But this is not what we're going to talk about today. I came up with rules, advices, and prompts to help you be consistent with your art and make you create more, whether it is by filling your sketchbooks or working on your personal projects. If you're new here, hello, my name is Veronica, aka Vespertiliu. I am an Italian comic book author, tarot and oracle deck creator, and your spooky art teacher.
It's me again, yours truly.
This video is going to be divided into 2 chapters. In the first chapter, I'm going to share with you the 4 rules or tips or advices, if you prefer, that have helped me and still help me to this day with being consistent with creating art. At the beginning of the second chapter, I'm going to tell you right away a list of 13 prompts that you can use to fill your sketchbooks or in general to explore your creativity, being more consistent with your art. Then we're going to move to the sketchbook tour and I'm going to walk you through the 13 points of the prompt list through the art pieces I've made in this sketchbook. Hi! Editing Veronica here. I just noticed chapter 1 is already decently long and there's still around 45 minutes of footage left for chapter 2. So we're going to split this into 2 separate videos. Chapter 2 is going to be linked in the description. Hope that's okay. Now back to the video. So without further ado, let's begin. Chapter 1. Rules, tips, advices, mindset shifts, if you will, that can help you create more and be more consistent with making art. I got my notes right here, so let's begin. Number 1, make art even when you don't feel like it, because most of the time you are not lacking inspiration, you're lacking energy, and making art can help you regain that very energy. In the past years, I've noticed that every time I would feel like I wasn't in the mood to create and to make art, not even a doodle, or I wasn't inspired at all to make art, I then discovered through facing this uncomfortable feeling that most of the time, if not every single time, what I was lacking was not inspiration. It was energy, mental energy, spiritual energy also. I've made a video about how to find inspiration, and at the core of that video is the fact that inspiration is everywhere. When I started drawing random stuff I had around my house, starting to add my characters interacting with those objects, I realized I would have never lacked inspiration in my life, because inspiration is everywhere. I'm looking around and here I have a shell that I use as an incense tray. This box I just showed you that I thrifted. This other thrift find of mine, which is this Victorian inspired paper clip. Here I have fake flowers, a fork, a spoon, a cup, a mug. Everything can be your reference. Everything can inspire you to create. And every single day, you can find at least one thing. When you find yourself lacking inspiration, you can start from that. You can start from anything. So, next time you feel like you are lacking the motivation and the inspiration to draw, my advice is please give yourself the opportunity to regain your strength, your energy through the act of making art. Every time I felt lost or lacking energies or lacking inspiration, I regained those while drawing, while practicing my craft, while creating. Now, an issue may arise because you might be thinking, Veronica, I hate my art. I can't draw when I'm uninspired. What if the art piece I create is not good enough? What if just by the start of this little doodle, I can tell it's a shitty piece of art? Well, here comes the second point of my list. Comparison kills progress. Study makes you improve. I need you to have a reality check. When you were a kid and you would draw, and unless you're born with the famous gift of talent, which is mostly, not every time, but mostly a myth. Talent is a passion pursued, in my opinion and my experience. But anyways, I digress. When you were a kid and you would make art in the safety of your home, or when you were at some point the only kid in class who would draw, did you ever feel like your art was shitty? And I need you to really think about it. Because we as artists start adapting our skills and developing a critical eye, overcritical eye towards our art when we start comparing it. When we start comparing our art with the art of other people, that's when we notice that something is wrong. We need to stop doing that. Studying the art of other people, it is good because that makes you improve. But that is a very different vibe, a very different feeling, a very different approach to comparison than the comparison that is toxic and that makes you stop creating instead of pushing you to create more. If you compare yourself, let me tell you also this, if you compare your art to the art of another person and you feel like your art is shitty, but that inspires you to make more art pieces, good for you. But if by comparing yourself to other artists, comparing your art to the art of other people, you get blocked, you need to change your mindset. You need to shift perspective because that's exactly what kills your creative power. As I said, comparison kills progress, study makes you improve. And I want to add I added a little plus under this, which is another extra tip. Study from old masters. This can also help you with comparison because nowadays we go on social media and we follow a bunch of other artists, maybe our age or are younger than us, and we see and look at their art and we might feel behind. We might feel like we are not enough, okay? And that is valid. That is valid. What is not acceptable is that feeling stops you from enjoying your art, from creating more. Therefore, my tip, which is something that worked for me, is study from older masters. And I want to read you a quote by the late Dame Vivienne Westwood. And this is a quote from her interview with The Guardian. I'll link it below eventually. And this is what she said. If you look at those windows from the past, it's like going much further than your own lifetime. Art tells the truth about a vision of the world at different points in time, but we understand it because of our common humanity. Shifting your vision today and deciding to stop looking at the present around you and at what the future is going to require, and instead deciding to take a look at the past, inevitably will push you towards your future. Because even though you look at the past, we're talking about art. Let me be extremely clear. Even though we're looking at the past, from that very past, we can gather inspiration or techniques or general elements that can become the future of our art. This happened to me. I love to study older masters. My favorite artists are basically all from the past. Gustave Doré, Edward Gorey, Leonora Carrington, Leonard Fini, Remedios Varo, Felician Robes, Luis Ricardo Falero, all of those artists come from the past. And by looking at their art, I gathered some elements that then became statement characteristics of my own art. Use comparison as fuel and not as the reason why you should not make art. And then shift your attention from comparison to study. And if you want to add an extra step, if you're comfortable with it, if you need this extra step, study from older masters and look at their art from the past to change the future of art. Number 3, art is a very serious matter, even when it's silly. Art can be silly. You don't need to go deep every time. So this is very important to me because even though being an artist is a very serious matter and making art is a serious matter, to deny yourself of the joy of making silly things like a cat pooping on a dish of spaghetti, denying yourself of doing that is like caging a certain part of your creative expression and also denying yourself to go through an extra door you can go through to express yourself creatively. So another thing that I recommend is do silly art, because even silly art is serious and you deserve to make silly art. You don't have to do meaningful stuff all the time. Actually, you can do mostly silly art, and sometimes that very silly art ends up having meaning. And that ties into the last point, which is point number 4. Number 4, art is a very serious matter. Again, accept that you are an artist and take yourself seriously. Even drawing puppets is a very serious matter. Now, I've heard more than once this phrase from different artists. They were all comic artists. And they used to say, sometimes, they say this thing: being a comic artist is not a hard, harsh job. I agree. That's way worse. At the end of the day, we just draw little puppets, little silly puppets. And I've always felt kind of uncomfortable thinking that. And I want to tell you this: drawing little silly puppets is a very serious matter. Would you think the Kermit the Frog, a character born from a sock, literally, is not a serious matter? The creation of Kermit the Frog, that character changes lives to this day. And that is the same with many, many, many comics and cartoons, even the silly ones, who to this day are changing lives. Do we want to talk about Snoopy? That is such a comfort piece of literature and art. And it might be considered something silly, but it is monumental. It is a very serious art piece, Snoopy. And another thing, accept that you are an artist and take yourself seriously. A few years ago, I had to literally dismantle the belief I had that I wasn't worth of the word artist with my therapist. Because I could not put myself in the position of calling myself an artist. I couldn't think of deserving the word artist. Goddess forbid, artist with capital A. And my therapist was like, why? You are an artist. Your whole life revolves around art. You literally can't breathe if you're not making art. Art is a need of your life. Why wouldn't you call yourself an artist? Because I was told so. Because I was told by fellow artists that you should not call yourself an artist because you have to stay humble, and most importantly, how dare you consider yourself an artist just because you make art? Let it sink in. This does not make any sense. And let me tell you, the people in my life who told me that I was not a serious artist and therefore I should not dare to make art that was not serious, to get back to the first point, were often the same people who made very little art compared to me. So please, as much as it is important to make silly art, remember that your silly art is still a very serious matter because it is still art. I want you to accept that you are an artist. That doesn't mean you have to brag or become mean to other people or feel superior. Those are all things that we've been told to tie to the idea of being an artist. That is not being an artist. That is being rude. That is being an ugly person. You can be an artist and be generous with your art. Be generous with what you've learned. Be generous with other artists, and also be critical towards your art and want to become better and want to express yourself more. So you are an artist, and I need you to really take yourself seriously, because by doing that, you'll get into the mindset that making art is a need for you. It is who you are. Of course, there are some days when you want to do something else, and that's okay. The important thing is that you are not stopping you from creating art for the wrong reasons. If one day you don't create art because you want to go to the amusement park, or if one day you don't create art because you've worked all day long and you just want to go to bed, that's okay. That's okay. If you stop creating art because of comparison, because you think you're not worthy, because you think you're not serious enough for that, you don't deserve to do that, forget all those things. Those are all lies, okay? Those are my 2 cents, 4 cents to be exact, on what you can do or what mindset shifts you can adopt to help you create more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first chapter. Feel free to let me know which of the 4 rules resonated with you the most, or if you plan to apply all 4 to your creative practice. I will see you very soon with chapter 2 and with more art videos. In the meantime, let's make art. Bye.